light in the world. So tune in and listen. Well, we're in the second of the two little octaves of Mary. The first little octave was August 15th, which is the Assumption of Our Lady into heaven. Oh, isn't that beautiful? And it was followed 8 days later by the memorial of the Queenship of the Blessed Virgin Mary on August 22nd. I just can't imagine what that crown must look like. Maybe one day I'll see it. Well, here we are in September, and we just celebrated the Feast of the Nativity of the Blessed Virgin Mary on September 8th. And on the 15th of September, we celebrate the memorial of Our Lady of Sorrows. From Bethlehem to Cana to Calvary, Mary was there. And Father Wade Menezes said that this should be a bumper sticker. So we should all get one. It says, from Bethlehem to Cana to Calvary, Mary was there. That's Our Lady. Well, my guest tonight is a woman who I highly respect for her loyalty and love of Mary. She has a tremendous love of Our Lady and has dedicated her life to share this love. Debbie Pryor and I met through a mutual and very holy priest, Father Peter Mary Rookey. And today marks the passing of Father Rookey just 4 years ago. So this show is dedicated to a priest who is still making a difference in the world through those who he inspired to carry on Marian ministries. Father Rookey is part of this journey of Debbie Pryor and of my journey as well. And when I was gathering the information for tonight's show, it was so clear to me that this show is very anointed by Our Lady. Before we start our conversation, we want to lift up our thoughts and our words tonight to Our Lady of Sorrows and ask for her blessing and remember our dear mentor, spiritual leader, and friend, Father Peter Mary Rookey. Well, our Sorrowful Mothers Ministry is a place of healing, reconciliation, love, and formation. Debbie Pryor and Vanessa, her sidekick, have a constant flow of holy priests who lead weekend retreats. But I'm going to let Debbie tell you all about it, this wonderful ministry. So please bring out your pens and your paper to get all the contact information. And remember, I would love to have you call in on this show, but not till after our break at the half hour. And if you want to call in for comments or questions for Debbie or me, you can call 866-333-6279. That's 866-333-MARY. Well, Debbie, welcome to the show tonight. Are you there?
I am, Christine. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be with you on the show, and hearing you talk about Father just made me smile sitting here, just thinking of all the years we've known him and loved him.
Oh, he was definitely our mentor, Debbie, and I think he's looking down right now from heaven on us. Everywhere I look.
I hope so.
I hope so too.
I hope so.
Oh,
thanks for having me, Christine.
It's my pleasure, Debbie. And as I say earlier, I highly respect all that you're doing out there and watch the growth from afar, because we're very busy down here going, with the Militia de Immaculata, but we hear all good things. But I want to take you back a little bit. And I would like you to tell me what took you and Vanessa to Father Peter Mary Rookey's healing masses, because that was pretty much the get-go of both of us.
Right. It was kind of a divine intervention. I was still working for my father at that time at a GM dealership, and I got a phone call from the rectory here, and the secretary said, I have somebody here that's looking for Father Rookey. Do you know who he is? And I said, no, I don't. And she said, well, they thought you would know. And I said, I'm sorry, I've never heard of him. I go home for lunch, and in my mailbox is a flyer from Father Peter Mary Rookey. And I called Vanessa and said, oh, my gosh. And we saw that he was in St. Louis once a month, and so we decided to go. And we drove down there not knowing what to expect. It was really a miracle that we even got there.
Yeah, that's definitely intercession for sure. So, so you got slain in the Spirit and baptized in the Spirit through the wonderful gifts from Jesus Christ, the cross, and the hands of Father Peter Mary Rookey, as I was, and ever since that time, you've just bloomed. And he introduced me to that rosary, the Dolours of the Sorrows of Mary.
Yes.
Were you familiar with the Dolours at that time, or was this something new for you as well?
We weren't familiar with anything. This was at the 20-some years ago, at the very, very beginning. And we started going once a month to all his healing masters in St. Louis. And the lady who was taking care of Father, that was selling like his books and his rosaries and all that, we had been going about 6 months, and she stopped us in the foyer, and she said, "I want to talk to you guys." And we said, "Okay." And she said, "I'm going to retire, and God told me to give you the care of Father when I retire." And we were like, "What?" Because all St. Louis people are, of course, standing around thinking, "Excuse me, how about us?"
Right.
Because we were an hour away. So we started taking care of Father, setting up the book, selling his things, picking him up, taking him to the hospital, everything. We didn't know anybody. And this woman just came out of nowhere. And for 7 years, then, we were with Father once a month in St. Louis.
Now, that was the heaviest bag I've ever lifted up when I picked him up from the airport the first time. I said, "Here, Father, let me carry this bag. Can we carry this bag?" And folks, you have to realize that Father was a man of poverty. So I think he had maybe one cassock, and this bag you would think had items in it for his personal use, but they were books and letters, and
right?
Everything. And it was so heavy. Go ahead.
He was so funny to be around because people would hand him gifts all the time, and we'd get in the car and he'd hand them to us and say, "You can't take these."
I know.
He would, you know that, Christine. He wouldn't keep anything for himself, nothing.
No, it would go from the left hand to the right hand to the person to the right of him and to the left of him. I know. And I remember with this Dollar rosary that we're going to speak about here in a minute, but he would always say, "Oh, you can buy this Dollar rosary for $7." Remember, he used to but actually,
we were blessed enough that Father gave us all of his things from his priesthood before he passed away. So we have a museum here with 2 of his original $7 rosaries that he had on his belt all those years, and his original cassock. Everything from his priesthood is here in display cases to honor Father.
Now, so many people don't know where here is. So, Debbie, please give us contact information that everybody can write down to see how to get in touch with you and how to go to your website so they could go and visit you.
Okay, the website is O.S.M, M as in Mary, M as in Mary.org, and that has all the information. We are in Illinois, 1 hour from St. Louis, and we have monthly retreats with a different topic each month. And they can get online on the website or on Facebook, Our Sorrowful Mothers Ministry, and see pictures of everything here. We also have places you can stay while you're here for a retreat, houses on the property. And we have 3 chapels with the Blessed Sacrament.
Tell me about those chapels. Are they in the house that you purchased? You have a house there, don't you?
We have 3 houses now that have been donated by people who came here, had an encounter with Christ here, and had a healing. And we have 3 houses now and 3 chapels. 1 chapel is in the priest's house where he stays. It's called the House of Bethany, and that's where the priests stay. We have Mary and Martha, and behind that house is the Holy Sepulchre Chapel with the Blessed Sacrament. And then Bishop Opraki named our new building the Sanctuary of the Sorrowful Mother, and we have a chapel in there that's called Stabat Mater, with the Blessed Sacrament.
Oh,
So we have 3 chapels on the property with the Blessed Sacrament.
Now, you took the prayers from the Dollards and made a whole ministry of the Dollards, so to say, with everything that
Yes.
you're doing. So can you please share with us the power of the Dollards of this particular rosary?
To quote Father Chad Ripperger, who a lot of your listeners will know who that is, his new order of exorcists is dedicated to the Sorrowful Mother. He says that our Sorrowful Mother is Virgin most powerful because her tears, her pain, her grief during the crucifixion was the most powerful ever. And if you go to her, she will not refuse you anything. When we named this our Sorrowful Mother's Ministry, we told Father Rookey it was in honor of him and his priesthood. And we called him our spiritual father of this ministry. And we believe there's been many, many graces and healings here over the last 21 years.
Definitely. And, of course, Father's order was the Servites of Mary and the Servites of
Yes.
Mary, right? And their lady was Our Lady of Sorrows. And I would always,
Right.
my husband and I would go to the Basilica of Our Lady of Sorrows
Yes.
in Chicago. Now, it was always amazing how they moved that basilica every time I'd get off the expressway because I could never find it twice at the same time. Every month we'd take a group of people, and it depended which direction we were coming to get off in California, because one way you could, one way you couldn't. And it's the basilica, of course, is downtown Chicago, and it's kind of, iffy down there. So you have to be careful when you drive. But quite funny, this is hysterical. One time I had a car full of people, all these little gals in the back seat just praying away for us. So, praying St. Michael. And I said, well, we'll stop in this gas station and see which way to turn. I can see the basilica, but the one-way streets, I couldn't get there. So we walked in the gas station, and I said, I'm looking for the Basilica of Our Lady of Sorrows. We're going to see Father Rookey. Everybody in that gas station knew him. Now, isn't that crazy?
That doesn't surprise me.
All these little Hispanic men are going, oh, Father Rookey, yes, Father Rookey. And they practically held my hand, showing me. It was just always something really, really special that would happen there. And I would go in there and I'd say, oh, Father, they moved the basilica again. How did they do this? So I was always lost in Chicago. But never heard, the good Lord, Father Rookey's prayers and St. Michael always pulled us out of the worst of the worst. Now,
that was a beautiful, beautiful basilica. And he loved it so much there.
It is. It really is.
We took him to the Holy Land for the last time when he was 94. And we're in the Holy Land. We had a whole pilgrimage group of people. And everywhere we went, people knew who he was.
Oh, yes.
In the Holy Land.
That's crazy.
It was the most... How can these people know him over here?
You can take him anywhere. Isn't that neat? That's great.
Yeah.
So, one time, I used to bring Father Peter Mary Rookey here from, I think it was 94 till 2001 every year, and it would just be amazing. I mean, it was just incredibly amazing. People blew up my answer machine with prayer requests, and but I was trying to hide him, and we had a big healing mass the night before, and I wanted to go someplace quiet so we could discuss what we were going to be doing that day. So I took him to Hy-Vee, which is this grocery store, and they have a little coffee shop there. So we went to the coffee shop, and the lady behind the counter had been at the mass the night before. So we get there, and she goes, oh, my goodness, Father Rookey. And she calls everybody over, and here we go again. So it was couldn't even hide him.
He was one of a kind.
He was one of a kind, and very holy. I feel that you and I were invited to walk with Jesus right here on earth. It was that powerful. Yes, very much so. Now,
It was a real honor.
Oh, it was an honor, wasn't it? Yes.
Yes, it was.
Now, Immaculée, when she was in Rwanda in the bathroom, hiding from
Yes.
the people, they were trying to kill them all. That was the rosary that she was praying. Can you tell us a little about the ladies' messages in Rwanda?
I don't know too much about it. Immaculée was here. She was here and did a weekend retreat here. And she talked about Our Lady of Sorrows and talked about the messages. And I have read the book, but I don't remember really, Christine. I'm sorry. She was here for a whole weekend, and our place was packed with people because the story was so powerful and so remarkable. And of course, to hear her tell it in person, everybody in the sanctuary was in tears, listening to her recount how that's what she held on to all those days and nights was Our Lady of Sorrows.
Our Lady of Sorrows Rosary. Well, Our Lady of now Kibaho, am I saying it right? Kibaho from
what?
The Our Lady.
Rwanda.
Yes.
Yes.
In 1980, in her apparition, she recommended that people pray the chaplet of the seven sorrows to obtain the favor of repentance, because this devotion goes way back to the Middle Ages, but it finally gained popularity following the church's approval of the Marian apparitions there in Rwanda. So that was in the 80s, and that's where Immaculée evidently heard about it, was from the apparition there in Rwanda. So that's very powerful rosary. So we're in the midst of the novena right now of the Our Lady of Sorrows, and we will finish it up on the 15th, the feast day. Are you having a special Mass out there?
We are. We're having a weekend retreat that weekend, and we're also starting a weekly adoration of the Blessed Sacrament with reparation for what's going on in the church right now. We're beginning it this coming weekend to try to be a help to the suffering that we're all going through right now with the church. So we're doing adoration from 12 to 3 to honor Our Lady of Sorrows during the time that she was at the foot of the cross with Jesus and suffered. And so we're doing several things this weekend. We have a Father of Mercy here for the weekend, and he is going to talk about how we maintain our faith and stand strong during this time. It should be a powerful weekend because Our Lady of Sorrows will be at the core of everything we do.
This is a very, very powerful novena, the Our Lady of Sorrows. And if you haven't started it yet, you can start it at any time and catch up. So if you would like to go online, I do have the novena. I get a little plug in here for our website of consecration-midwest.org. And we posted the novena smack dab right in front of you when you go on that page. So you can jump in, and I'm sure you have that novena on your website as well of Our Lady of Sorrowful Mothers. Is that what it is?
Our Mother of Sorrows novena.
That's right, our Mother of Sorrows novena. So the prayers are absolutely beautiful. And to do this novena, do it when you're alone. Do it someplace where it's very quiet and you're not rushed, because you will feel the mantle of Mary around you. You truly will. Our Lady of Sorrows. Now, I have a question for you, because I see pictures from time to time of little children in the house. Are you running a school, a little daycare or school?
We have a new daycare, preschool, that started 3 years ago. My daughter is the director of it. It's called Little Lambs. And has 140 little kids.
Oh, how cute.
It is a huge, huge success. It's just called a Christian daycare because we cannot call it Catholic because we're not associated with the diocese.
Okay.
But all the kids that go there are all safe. But they learn the Catholic prayer. prayers. They learn the sign of the cross. They learn Bible verses, and it has been hugely popular here. And so we're very proud of that.
Yes, it's absolutely beautiful.
140 students.
And how many people work there in the daycare?
Oh, she's got a lot of employees because you've got to have, I think there's 20 besides herself. She teaches fourth grade preschool, and they have third grade preschool, and then she has from 0 to 5. Tiny babies all the way up to 5 when they go to kindergarten. It's been a huge blessing to see those little kids. It's just remarkable. I go there every day to get my daily fix because they're all so precious, and they're all.
Get a big hug from them all.
They call me Grandma Debbie.
Oh,
when I go in, they all come running. Yeah, it's a real joy. It's a real joy.
Now, tell me about your last pilgrimage. Where did you go on your last pilgrimage?
We are not going to Europe anymore. We have been going to Batania, Venezuela. We've been there 12 times in the last few years. We became friends with the servant of God, Maria-Sept's family, in 2010. And we go down there and take people to Venezuela, stay at the grotto. And it has been a real gift. It's different than going to Europe. One, because the expense is not as high. Two, you're with the family the whole time. The family come and stay with us, and it's just a very personal encounter. They pray with us. We go to the grotto. We go to their home, and we're able to soak up the life of Maria-Sept and this beautiful family. And so that's all we're doing right now is going to Venezuela. We're going in December for 10 days.
For 10 days.
And it's a real spiritual time.
Again, I saw the pictures. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. And the daughters of Maria-Sept, a lot of them have the same gift as their mother. So it's very profound.
Let's back that up a little bit. Many people don't know who it is that you're speaking of, so I do, but can you fill us in on who the servant of God, Maria-Sept, is, and what were her wonderful gifts?
You can look her up online, Maria-Sept, servant of God. She was a mystic. She had the stigmata. She died in 2004, and there are countless miracles, countless healings surrounded by her. And her husband, Mr. J.O., died 2 years ago. He has been here many, many times with the family to visit us in the United States. The last time they were all here, we had 27 family members here.
Big
and
family.
Mr. J.O. was a saint. He was just like his wife. We never knew Maria-Sept, but it was an encounter with the divine for sure. To know this family, to know Mr. J.O., to hear about her life. And she was a mother. She was a grandmother. She was a wife. So for all of us, it's easy to pray and ask for her intercession because she understands our life, because she was all of those things.
Yes.
She would levitate. Her life was remarkable, just remarkable.
Wonderful. I just love this lady, and I read about her, and I'm sorry I didn't get to meet her. Father Rookey knew her very well. They're very good friends.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he spoke of her very much. But we're going to take a little break, you all, and we're going to be back with Debbie Pryor. And if you want to call in and talk to Debbie, ask questions about the ministry, how to get in touch, how to go to the pilgrimage, call in at 866-333-6279. That's 866-333-6279. And hopefully, Louise has a really pretty song for us from Annie Carto, whose show it is that I'm sitting in for tonight. We'll be back in just a minute.
I didn't know you had this here.
and our hearts are just the same, filled with joy at such a vision as we praise your name. Golden rose, queen of Ireland, all my cares and troubles cease as I kneel with love before you, Lady of Love, our Queen of Peace. Though your message was unspoken, still the truth in silence lies as we gaze upon your vision and the truth I try to find. Here I stand with John the teacher and with Joseph at your side, and I see the Lamb of God on the altar glorified. Golden rose, queen of Ireland, all my cares and troubles cease as I kneel with love before you, Lady of Love, our Queen of Peace. And the Lamb will conquer, and the woman clothed in the sun will shine her light on every wall. Yes, the Lamb will conquer, and the woman clothed in the sun will shine her light on every wall. Golden rose, queen of Ireland, all my cares and troubles cease as I kneel with love before you, Lady of Love, my Queen of Peace. Lady of Love, my Queen of
You're listening to Radio Maria, Christian Voice in Your Home. We're now back with the show, Vigilant Hearts of Annie Corto, with guest presenter Christine Rossi.
Hi, sorry about the music. When, they say try again, we got any song up. That was okay. Just a computer glitch there. But thank you for coming back. Again, if you want to call in, now is the time you can call in between now and the end of the show. We were talking about many things. And Debbie Pryor has just dedicated her whole life, as you can see, through Our Lady of Sorrows in this ministry that she has. It's in Vidalia, Illinois, and please go to the website and find out more information. Now, Debbie was talking about the pilgrimages that they now take instead of going to the Holy Land and overseas. They now go in a whole different place. Tell us all about this place. It's actually, it has a very special name, doesn't it?
It's
Debbie?
Catania.
Bataan.
It is, yes, it is outside of Caracas, Venezuela. And they have little cabins there that you can stay, and you can visit the place where Our Lady appeared many times to Maria-Sept, and it's a beautiful, beautiful place. It's very quiet, it's very profound, and it's very contemplative. And the family of Maria-Sept is there with us the whole time.
The whole time. That's great. And is this place called the Virgin of the Valley? Her shrine is called the Virgin of the Valley, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Virgin of the Valley.
Yes, it is. And the place is called Batania.
Batania.
But, the Virgin of the Valley is the name that is used in South America a lot for the people there. And it's a beautiful place.
That's great. When is your next retreat? Is it, you said, this weekend coming up? And do you have the name of the priest that's going to be leading the retreat this weekend from the Priest of Mercy?
Yes. The Fathers of Mercy are sending Father Joseph Antona here for the weekend. And then in October, for our big conference, Father Wade Menendez will be here along with Bishop Popraki.
Father Wade Menezes?
Yes.
Oh, I love Father Wade. He's been on my show several times. He'll be back. Yes, he's wonderful. He is a lesson. Every time this man gives a homily, I take notes.
Exactly. He'll be here for our big conference the end of October along with Bishop Popraki. So we're really looking forward to that.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I'd be there for that one, except I'm going to be in Medjugorje at the end of October.
Well, good for you.
I know.
I don't blame you.
I have never been to Medjugorje. Father Rookey was there, what, how many times? 27, 28 times?
Oh, Lord. Many times. I've never been there either. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope it's wonderful.
Jump on board. This particular pilgrimage is a memorial for Wayne Weibel. And I'm going in his wife Judith Weibel, and the pilgrims, and we're going to go over there from October 30th till the 7th of December. So we'll take all pilgrims over. Yes, my husband's coming. It'll be wonderful. So
great. Good for you, Christina.
Yes, thank you. Everybody's been coaxing me. Everybody wanted me to go to Medjugorje all these years. So here we go, jumping in the water.
Well,
hope I can make it up the mountain.
That'd be my concern.
Had to make it up the mountain. So what I wanted to ask you about, let's go back to the Servite Rosary, or the Dollards as they call them. Can you please explain how you pray this particular rosary, because it's a little different than the Dominican Rosary?
It's very different. It takes a little bit more time to do this rosary. When you look it up like you were addressing to people, you will see the different stations of this rosary and why they are the way they are. And we also pray the chaplet of the $7, which is the same station with just one Hail Mary. And so we ask everyone in our lay community to pray that chaplet every day. So it's a very profound rosary that is used, was introduced here by Father Rookey himself. And people will find it very consoling as they walk through the stations with Our Lady.
That's beautiful. So tell us, what are the meditations on this rosary? What makes it a little different? Like the first one?
Well, it's because it's all about her life. It's a lot. It's very personal. It's all about her life and the power of her life. And so, as you pray it, it's very different than the Stations of the Cross or the Dominican Rosary, because you're walking with her the whole time. And there's $7, and it starts out with the prophecy of St. Simon. Then goes to the flight into Egypt, the loss of the child Jesus in the temple, her meeting with Jesus on the way to Calvary, the crucifixion, the death of Jesus, the piercing of the side of Jesus, and the burial. So you're walking through her life.
Yes. And the last, go ahead.
Once you pray it, you'll never forget it.
Right. And the last three prayers are for the tears of Mary. You
Right.
still do that one? Yeah.
Yeah.
The last three prayers.
Yeah.
And
We pray this chaplet a lot as a community.
that's
Because
great.
if you don't have a lot of time, you can pray it in between. And always, that way you're always touching her mantle, so to speak, with the prayers, with the meditation, with the Hail Mary. And, of course, we always thank the Father the whole time and ask Him to be with us and to walk with us during this time.
Absolutely. Well, the Holy Virgin insists on the need of prayer. She said that the word in the world right now is very bad. It's necessary to pray, pray, and pray. And a lot of
Right.
this world that is bad, to pray for the sinners, pray for their conversion. And, these are all things from apparitions, from Fatima to Medjugorje, from Lourdes. She insists a lot of these needs of conversion can only be done through prayer. And while saying this, people don't respect God's commands, that people have hard hearts nowadays. And Mary asked us to meditate on the mysteries of the Rosary, especially the Dolords, and to recite this every day. Because it's a ladder, it's a chain from heaven. Father Padre Pio says, this is a chain from heaven, hold on to it. She also taught the Rosary, the Seven Sorrows, and she asked us to pray that one on Tuesdays and Fridays, and she asked us to obey the Church, to love God in truth and love of our neighbor. And right now, our Church needs prayers. We need prayers for protection for the priests who are innocent. We need prayers for the victims. We need prayers for the priests who are in trouble. We need to pray, 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 and just stop with all the finger pointing and blaming. We need to pray right now.
Exactly.
Very.
We all have to be united, Christine.
Yes. It's a dire time for our Church. And however, Mary can change all things. All things are possible through God. And many times, I'm sure God's hand could have come down and smat us all. But through prayer, He didn't. And that's why. So, yes. So what do you foresee? Okay, you have 3 houses, beautiful houses out there in Vidalia. You have a daycare and a little school going on. What do you see coming up in 2019 for you?
I've already got the schedule set for 2019. I always have to start a year ahead. We just are continuing to try to work, Christine, and stay faithful because now more than ever we need to be united, like you were saying. We have to stand strong. We have to be faithful. We have to help each other and be supportive as we go through this tribulation time. And so we will just continue to do what we've done the last 21 years, God willing, and continue to reach out.
Well, for those who are discouraged, I want to take a moment here and I want to read a little something. I'm not sure who actually wrote this because I've seen a couple different versions, but it's called Discouraged. It was once announced that the devil was going out of business and he would offer all tools for sale to whoever would pay the price. On the night of the sale, they were all attractively displayed, a bad-looking lot. Malice, hatred, envy, jealousy, sensuality, and deceit. And all the implements of evil were spread out, each marked with its price. Well, apart from the rest lay a harmless-looking wedged-shaped tool, much worn and priced higher than all the others. Someone asked the devil, "What is it?" "That's discouragement," was the reply. "Why do you have it priced so high?" The devil said, "Because it is more useful to me than any of the others. I can pry open and get inside a man's conscience with that when I could not get near him with any of the others. And when once inside, I can use him in whatever way suits me best. It is so much worn because I use it with nearly everybody, as very few people yet know it belongs to me." It hardly need to be added that the devil's price for discouragement was so high that it was never sold, and he still owns it, and he still uses it. So keep that one in mind. Isn't that great?
That's beautiful, Christine, and what a beautiful thing to hear right now as we're facing everything, to let people know that is a tool of the devil.
Definitely. Now, I read, and I just seen a couple advertisements about a movie that's coming out, and it's called The Nun. Have you seen this?
I saw it on TV. It kind of gave me the creep. I haven't read about it yet. No.
It's about a nun, and it's about a nun who is possessed. Of course, Hollywood has to have a possessed nun. What would Hollywood do without the Catholic Church, Debbie?
Exactly.
Really. And I just want to warn everyone. Number one, I would suggest that you not see it. That was my first suggestion.
Oh, creepy.
Yeah. And number two, I did read from EWTN Pop's pop culture type of EWTN news that I get, and they were talking about there's different kinds of possession, and there's different kinds of exorcisms. And Debbie, I know you know this because you talk a lot with exorcists, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
And evidently the movie, sometimes an exorcism will take maybe years, a true exorcism. Not just the time of a movie theater, not just while you're eating your popcorn. It doesn't happen like that. So the movie itself is pretty much a fictitious type of a movie, and of course they have to have the nun in there, and at all times this time. So believe it or not, that very much is the work of the devil, and his timing is always just like it is. So please, number one, try not to go to the movie, and number two, don't believe any of it if you do go. Just eat your popcorn and take it home.
And three, it's very scary commercial. Don't look at it.
Oh, it's a horrible commercial. I know, it was a very scary commercial, but as only Hollywood can do. So remember, folks, you can call in at 866-333-6279 if you'd like to join in our scary conversation right now. And I guess it's probably because we're coming into Hollywood's the Halloween season, so they're going to start drumming up some scary movies here. Well, it's just been delightful to talk to you, and again, I would highly recommend for everyone to pick up a rosary. You can get the Dollards at any of the Catholic bookshops. Maybe go to EWTN's. They have that little shop there on TV. You just go to EWTN and they can pick up a rosary, the Dollards. It's extremely powerful.
We also have it in our store, Christine. We also have the Dollards rosary in our store.
Hey,
and some of the other items in there also.
And that's, again, give us that contact again. It's how can they get to your store?
O.S. Sam, Mary.org. And it's on Facebook. Our Sorrowful Mother's Ministry.
Our Sorrowful Mother's Ministry.
I appreciate all this, Christine. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me.
Well, we're not quite finished yet. We got a few more things to go around. We got a little more time here. And I have Luis, and he's looking for the miracle prayer. I did use it one other show when I had Tim Rookey on, and we were talking about Father Rookey and all the miracles that have happened. But I would like to know we talk so much about the miraculous things because miracles really do happen in our lifetime. So often we think they only happened in the Bible, and golly, they're not going to happen to me. Why should a miracle happen to me? However, many miracles in different ways have happened, and I would like to know personally if you had ever received a miracle that you would like to share with us, and if you share one, I'll share one.
Are you talking to your listeners or to me?
No, I'm talking to you.
Okay.
I'm talking to you, Deborah.
Well, we have seen a lot of miracles here with healings of families. That's kind of general, but I can't get into a lot of detail. But people have come here with wounds, huge wounds, and have left here healed. Through the weekend retreat, through the prayer, through the meeting with the priest, through confession, through the sacraments. And the grace is just here for people. And a lot of times these people have carried these things 25, 30 years. And they find it to be a safe place here, a place where they can turn the light on some of these wounds. And so it's been a very humbling experience to watch all the hundreds of people come through here and find what they're looking for. So I don't have anything particular, just a lot of different healings over the years.
And Father always shared with us, this is not so much the physical healing, even though we all want the physical healing. We have to carry our crutches with us through life sometimes and lift them up to the Lord and lay our crutches at the foot of the cross, lay our children at the foot of the cross. Many of us have swords through our hearts from our own children, and that's the way of the culture right now. That's the way of the culture. But actually, Debbie shared with me once on a conversation that we cannot pray against free will. Would you like to share that little conversation there about how we cannot pray against free will for those mothers out there who are always trying to pray their kids back to church?
Well, you and I have sort of the same kind of heartache. And my oldest daughter disappeared 12 years ago with my only grandkids, and I have prayed and offered sacrifices and fasted, and to this day I still have not heard from her. And so it was her choice, it was her free will that made this choice. And through all my praying, nothing physically happened. But I believe that my grandchildren will be with me someday in heaven, hopefully my daughter. But as a mother, it's very heartbreaking to come up against this free will decision by a lot of our children.
Right.
And that's something I see more and more, Christine, from people that come here. The pain and the hurt and the devastation that a lot of children have caused in their parents and their family. And once we understand that it's their free will that we're up against, it makes it easier to live with. It makes it easier to accept, I guess. Over the years, it gets easier.
Well, the pain never goes away because we're all mothers out there, and I'm speaking to many of the listeners out there in Radio Maria listening base.
Yeah.
But just realize that you cannot pray against the free will. However,
no.
you can pray miracle prayer, and the miracle prayer can soften the hardest of hearts. And believe it or not, whether it's this day or a day in heaven that we're praying for them, thus miracle prayer will soften our hearts, accept our own pain as we go on, yes, and continue to unconditionally love them, because there will be a prodigal son one day situation, and when they do come home, we will put out the party and the lamb and the music, and I've got the whole day prepared in my dreams of that day, and I'm sure you do too. I'm sure you do too. Yes,
Christine. We're united in that pain.
That's right, and we have the swords through our hearts to show it. And as Our Lady of Sorrows, when I would go to that basilica, I would kneel right there in front of her and lay my woes to her, and she'd just look down on me, and I'd look up at her. But I want to share a funny situation that happened to me at the basilica, just to end up our show here in a high note. The basilica is very large, it's very old, and the confessionals are the old-fashioned ones, where the priest is in the middle and the people are on either side. So actually you have two people in the hot seat at the same time. The priest is talking to one, the other's waiting. So I was praying in front of Our Lady of Sorrows, and the line was all there waiting to go into one confessional. Well, my husband just kind of jerked my arm and said, "Go," just like that. And I was like still in prayer. So I came up and I went over to to the confessional, and by accident I opened the middle door, Debbie.
Oh.
And the priest just looked at me, and I looked at him like, oh. And then the confessionals are very dark, by the way, and I opened up the other door, and I stumbled. Then I stumbled into the confessional, and it was pitch black, and I couldn't find the kneeler. And he says, "Are you okay?" And I went, "Uh-huh, I think so."
Uh-huh.
So I'm glad I did not stumble out, but everybody was laughing because they saw me open the door on the priest, and it was just, oh my goodness. So keep your sense of humor, everyone, because God has one, or he wouldn't have me on Radio Maria, and he would have us all leading all these beautiful ministries. Mother Teresa of Calcutta, Saint Teresa of Calcutta, said that she's the pencil, God is the lead. And that's what we are, Deborah. We are just the pencils, and Mary is the lead. And she's just letting us take her son wherever we can possibly take him. Now, I don't know if you have a special prayer that you have in your heart, or if you have the miracle prayer card in front of you, because I don't. If we could close with the miracle prayer.
I don't have the miracle prayer, but the prayer that we use here is the Memorare, so I'd like to finish with it.
That would be wonderful.
In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Remember, O most gracious Virgin Mary, that never was it known that anyone who fled to thy protection, implored thy help, or sought thy intercession was left unaided. Inspired by this confidence, we fly unto thee, O Virgin of Virgins, our Mother. To thee do we come, before thee we stand, sinful and sorrowful. O Mother of the Word incarnate, despise not our petition, but hear our prayer and answer us. Amen.
Amen.
Father Rookey, pray for us.
I remember
Our
that.
powerful Mother, pray for us.
Pray for us. So don't
Maria-Sept,
forget, everyone,
servant of God, pray for us.
and all you angels and saints out there. And go
Yes,
over
ma'am.
to her.
Thank you so much, Christine.
Okay, everybody, and don't forget OSMM.org, and get in touch with Deborah and her fantastic ministry. God bless you, Deborah. Keep your strength up, darling.
All right, thanks, Christine. God bless you.
Bye now.